Bridget Jones' Diary, Bridget B. Vreeland, a fictional character of the book and movie The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, Bridget, an Irish activist, and Tony's girlfriend in An American Tale. I don't know any of those. I mean, I've heard of Bridget Jones' Diary, I've heard of Sisterhood of Traveling Pants, but I really don't know anything about either of those, so... Giggle, your grandma's so charming. Ooh. Brianna. I wouldn't really know. I mean, Brianna could be a bitch, but could be a nice person. It's one of those, it's like halfway. You know, kind of goes both ways, you know. See a Brianna, she usually goes like both ways. You know, I see nothing wrong with that statement because I'm not a perv, but some of you might be a little less than stellar in that department, so you might see something wrong there, but I really don't see something wrong with that statement. Like, what's wrong with that statement? Really, like, what's wrong with that statement? I see nothing wrong with that statement. Brianna goes both ways. Yeah, she could be a bitch or she could be nice. She goes both ways. I trained my Pokemon together with Joanne. Because if they're not going to accent Jose, it's going to become Joe's. And they're not going, and therefore, Olivia. Kind of a bitchy name. I mean, there are bitchier names, and there are less bitchy names, but it's... That's delicious! Thank you for sharing your opinion. Now I'm just going to, like, go through every single name and, like, try and determine whether it's a bitchy name or not. So that's going to be really fun. It is. Can't you tell how much fun it's going to be? Like, it's going to be 15-20s of damage fun. That is not a StarCraft 2 reference, in case you were wondering. That is a Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy reference, because I have the video game, and when you play as Irwin, his opening line is, "I'm about to unload 15-20s of damage on your butt," which... I don't really play it in too much because Fred Fredberger is in that game, and Fred Fredberger is the greatest thing to ever exist ever. I love Fred Fredberger. Fred Fredberger, Fred Fredberger, Fred Fredberger, Fred Fredberger, Fred Fredberger. That's my impression of the episode where Fred Fredberger was taking a dump, like the original episode he showed up in. Because he had to take a crap, and George, I have to make poo-poo, real bad. And then he went to the bathroom, and they show, like, this stall, and you just see the little legs, and they're, like, swinging back and forth. It's like, Fred Burger, and then they, like, stop, and it's like, Fred Burger, Fred Burger. Hilarious. You should watch that show because I endorse it, and if I endorse it, it has to be good. Just like Critters and Ghoulies and Mind Jack and Shadow the Hedgehog. I've heard a lot of people say bad things about that. I've heard quite a few people say bad things about the Mortal Kombat movies. I've heard quite a few people say bad things about... What else was it that I like? Oh, Brothers Grimm. My parents hate that movie because it's too weird, but that movie's hilarious. The kid gets covered in mud, the mud, like, takes the kid's face off. Like, the kid just has no face and is running around going... He has no eyes, no nose, no mouth, and there's just like this pile of mud with these two eyeballs, a nose, and a mouth, and there's no explanation for it. And then the mud just like abducts the entire kid, turns into a gingerbread man, bites its finger off, and is like, "Wow, I'm delicious," and runs away. It's like the biggest what the fuck moments. And it's hilarious. And my parents wonder why I like the movie. I'm like, look at that scene! That scene's genius. Like, if you haven't seen that scene, wow. Good sentence there, buddy. Repetitive as hell. I was going to switch it to repetition, and then it's like repetition, and it wouldn't have sounded right, so I stopped myself, and then I really didn't know how to end the sentence, and now I'm talking about this anyway, so I just sound like even more of a retard. And I believe my Stroganoff will die from this, unless I can get off a Giga Drain. Yeah! Hell yeah, bitch! My health. Not your health, my health, bitch! That's right. I needed that health. I was about to die, and now that I have health, I have health. Yes! Just in case you were wondering, when you have health, you have health. Yeah. Sharpedo. That is a very sharp looking pedo. Haha. Get it? Because pedophiles don't usually dress up, but it's looking sharp today because it's a sharp looking pedo. Ahaha. And it's female, so that's kind of odd. I don't really think of females as being pedophiles. Like, I guess it's possible, I mean, it's possible, but you don't really think of, like, some random girl just be like, oh, little Timmy, oh, you want a donut? You want my donut? Oh, little Timmy, you want my donut? That's... What? What? Even I can't believe that just came out of my mouth. So... What? Came all the way here, but you won't get to see Juan. No, I probably won't, since I'm too busy fighting all you pieces of shit. Even though I could just dodge all of you and just take the high road, like the upstart young gentleman I am, and completely ignore all those statements I just made about... Oh my god. This isn't gonna end well, is it? This recording is not going well at all. I mean, it's going well, it's funny. I feel like I'm being funny. And I'm doing good at the recording, but some things are better left unsaid. Like, oh my god. As I take a drink to regain my composure, and now I don't feel like a horrible person. So, Chrissy, I think that's what that said. Did that say Chrissy? Chrissy? Like, I don't know any Chrissies. Yeah, it did say Chrissy. I can't think of any Chrissies. Let me try to think about this one. Nope, can't do it. Don't. I can't. Crissy. Chrissy. Chrissy is an American fashion doll with the feature to adjust the length of its hair. Chrissy was created in the Ideal Toy Corporation's prototype department in 1968. She has auburn hair and is 18 inches tall, while having stationary foundation or base hair rooted to its head. The Chrissy doll also had another adjustable thick strand or lock of hair that emerged from an opening in the top of the doll's head, giving it the ability to adjust the length of its hair so a child could choose to make the hair short or long. Okay. That's a stupid idea. Of course, I think Barbie is a stupid idea, and that's successful somehow. And again, I think Pokemon is a great idea, and that's somehow an insult to real gamers, like all those Call of Duty douches. Duty. Yeah. I don't quite understand that. You play a game that consists of the same concept over and over again, and then you complain about how Pokemon is the same concept over and over again. I mean, I understand, like, their logic is like, oh, it has different guns and different multiplayer maps and a different single player, but most people don't play Call of Duty for the single player, they play it for the multiplayer. And really, when you're just getting a few new maps and they get either new weapons or they do what they do half the time and they just take an existing weapon, they change like one thing about it and maybe change the name and say it's a new weapon, and that's really all the change you're getting, then I don't really consider that much of a change. I mean, compared to Pokemon, where each game they're adding like 100 new Pokemon and a completely new single player, which, if you know, Pokemon is mostly single player, although there is like the Wi-Fi stuff you can do nowadays, but I really don't do the Wi-Fi because I suck at it and I don't care enough to get all level 100 Pokemon and just get team after team of level 100 Pokemon so that I can have like perfect stat nonsense. I don't care enough to do that, so even when you are doing that, it's more of a single player thing, like leveling them up and whatnot, even though you could just use cheats and basically get the same thing and not have to worry, but whatever. I just don't see why. I mean, Pokemon is changing a lot more aspects of it than Call of Duty is changing, and yet Call of Duty is the one that, I don't know. It just seems like more people are saying that Pokemon's just using the same thing over and over again. But most sequels are just the same thing over and over again. But you buy it because you like it, but when you play a game that's almost 100% multiplayer, you better be changing a lot more than just like add 2 weapons, change a name of 2 or 3 weapons, and give you 3 or 4 maps, because that's what DLC is for. Like, if you don't know what DLC is, it's downloadable content where basically, if you want this map pack, it's basically, we'll sell you a bunch of maps that you can download to your game and then you can play those maps. That's basically what some of the Call of Duty games end up being similar to. I mean, I know there's a single player, I know that. I'm not saying there isn't the single player change, but it just seems like the major differences are the games and are the maps and a few of the guns, so it's really not that intelligent of an idea to me. Anyway, I'm done complaining about Call of Duty, and since I can't remember a StarCraft 2 reference in this video series section because my friend felt like pointing out that I didn't have a StarCraft 2 reference in the last set of videos, even though I did, and I pointed that out to him because I'm a trolling motherfucker like that. Let's think of this. Well, we know you can't fix stupid, and we know that we're rolling out, and we gotta light it up, and just remember. Look at this backpack. It's on my butt, so it's in rear with the gear. In rear with the gear. I don't understand that line. It's just like, oh, okay, except most of the things you carry around are in front of you because that's where you carry the minerals, that's where you carry the best bean, that's where your tools are. So it's not really in rear with the gear, it's more like in front with the junk. They should change it to that, in front with the junk. Anyway, after I babble randomly because I need a StarCraft 2 reference, pause the video. No, not pause the video, I want to stop the video. Bye.